everybody, Mark with Midnight Stack Movies, back with you again today for a new video. Hope you all are doing well. I hope your week has gotten off to a good start as we are into Tuesday here. Today I want to go through my 10 picks for the best movies of the 21st century thus far. So this video was inspired by the New York Times list that just came out or is in the process of coming out of the top 100 movies of the 21st century so far, based on critic votes. And they had a little thing on their website where you could go in and fill out your own ballot for the top 10 and vote. And so I did that, and I want to go ahead and go through my top 10 ballot here. The only thing was on the website, they only had you list 10 movies. They didn't have you rank them. So I'm going to go ahead and rank them based on my top 10 of the 21st century. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Coming in at number 10 is Call Me By Your Name. This is from 2017, directed by Luca Guadagnino. It is a co-production with the United States and Italy. I believe there is some Italian spoken in the film. I'm going to go ahead and kind of try to tell you where these movies come from and the languages and stuff. It's a pretty American-heavy list because I'm an American, but nonetheless, I got some foreign films in here too. So Call Me By Your Name, of course, directed by Luca Guadagnino, starring Timothée Chalamet and Armie Hammer. Basically, Timothée Chalamet, his father works in the academic field. He lives in Italy, and it's set in the middle of summer in Italy, and perfect setting. As someone who's never left the United States, the summertime in Italy looks so idyllic, so perfect. It would be like a dream vacation. Armie Hammer is a research assistant that comes to work with his father, and then over the course of the summer, these two fall in love. So it's a great romance, but it's really a melancholic romance, and you're going to kind of see that as a theme. I love melancholic romance. I love the exploration of romance and love and those feelings, but done so through a depressing or somewhat depressing lens. I hate cheesy rom-coms. Every once in a while, maybe as like a palate cleanser thing, I'll watch one, but this Hollywood rom-com that we're so used to, I feel like is such an unrealistic expectation of love and romance, and this is something like this is way more grounded, down to earth, relatable, and it especially does a great job of dealing with the concept of having temporary connections with people. Like, you meet these people in your life and they mean so much to you for a short period of your life, and then for whatever reason they're gone. And I think this movie explores that phenomenally well. It's probably the movie where Timothée Chalamet really broke onto the scene. One of my favorite actors. I love the work that he's done since, as well as in this movie. Sufjan Stevens wrote, I believe, 3 songs for this movie, and they all fit perfectly into the vibe of the film, into the actual places where they're used in the film. So the soundtrack is phenomenal, the score is phenomenal, cinematography is beautiful. Like I said, you can't really go wrong with the summertime in Italy. So Call Me By Your Name is my number 10. Number 9. This is actually a double feature pack, but the movie here is Get Out. This is a double feature with Us and Get Out. Us, another really good film, but these are the first 2 films from Jordan Peele. Now, Get Out, if you were to make a list of the most culturally significant films of the 21st century, Get Out has a good argument for number 1. This movie was a moment in cultural history in 2017. This is directed by Jordan Peele from the United States. This film, immense cultural impact. The social commentary is fantastic here. It is a film that is, I think, truly original, kind of a rare breed in Hollywood, where, you know, the films that I really want to see from Hollywood are original stories, something that's unique, something that's bold, creative, taking big swings, and I think all of those things capture Get Out. This is a film, you know, the old saying is to aspiring filmmakers, you should make the movie that you want to see. And I feel like this film, more than perhaps any other, really captures that. I think Jordan Peele made the film that he wanted to see that didn't exist already, and so he made it. And I think this film did incredible things. It's a fantastic film. I don't want to give too much away in case you haven't seen it before. I know most people have, but I definitely think this is one you have to watch blindly. You cannot look up anything about this film before you see it, or else it will lose a lot of its power. And that's kind of one of the only weaknesses of the film. I don't know that it's the most rewatchable, but part of that is the genre itself. You know, it's a mystery, it thrives on that twist, and so you really, it's rewatchable. I've seen it multiple times since it originally came out, but it hits the hardest that first time, of course. So Get Out is number 9. Let's see, number 8, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from 2019, directed by Quentin Tarantino from the United States. This is the most recent Tarantino film. He still hasn't put out his final film yet. He's teasing the next one, his 10th film, as the final Tarantino film. This one is, to me, a masterclass in capturing its time and place. This film, set in 1969 Hollywood, it follows mainly these two guys here. Cliff Booth, who is the stuntman for Rick Dalton, famous actor from the 50s and 60s, a fictional actor, of course. But based upon some real people, Tarantino definitely took a lot of inspiration from that era of Hollywood and their kind of adventures and how they bump into Sharon Tate, who moves next door, played by Margot Robbie. And so Sharon Tate infamously was murdered by members of the Manson family, and so that real scenario plays out in the film. Will not reveal how, but Tarantino's known for some historical liberties, so take that with what you will. This film throws you into 1969 Hollywood, and the second I put it on, I am right there. Like, there's, you know, a handful of films that I really wish that I could live in, and this is one of them. The immersion here is incredible. The soundtrack, one of my favorite soundtracks in film history. It's one of the only ones I've ever bought on vinyl because the soundtrack is so good, filled with late 60s music, as well as sparsed in there, they have some radio advertisements that, excuse me, sound exactly like they came out of the radio station in 1969. This film also has some nostalgia for me because I just remember this came out in 2019, and that was my first year teaching. And so my first year in the fall, I did a 50-minute commute back and forth from work. And so almost every single day that fall, I threw on the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack on the drive home in the afternoon, and it was just the most incredible vibe. One of my favorite memories for sure. So this film it means a lot to me. It's so immersive. And then the cast, oh my God. So first of all, you got Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, 3 superstars. They were already superstars in 2019. But then the members of the Manson family in particular in the film, you got Austin Butler, Sydney Sweeney, Margaret Qualley, and Mikey Madison, all before they were really well-known actors. Like, holy crap, the casting director in this movie should win an award. Like, these people have gone on to become, you know, budding A-list actors, and very well deserved. I mean, they're all phenomenal performers. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my number 8. Coming in at number 7 here, we have The Royal Tenenbaums from 2001, directed by Wes Anderson from the United States. This film, to me, is where Wes Anderson really exploded onto the map. His first couple films, I have a tough time getting into. I haven't seen Bottle Rocket. I watched Rushmore not that long ago. I thought it was all right. I wasn't blown away with it. I'm a sucker for Wes Anderson's style. I love the shots, I love the production design, I think it's all beautiful. You know, we were just talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wish I could live in a Wes Anderson film, especially something like the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I also seriously considered here. But this film, to me, takes it a step further in terms of the characters. The characters here are so likable, well, in some cases, so, you know, you just become so enthralled in their stories, and the characters here really bring the emotion, and it does a great job of blending the emotional moments with a lot of humor. It's a very funny film, as many Wes Anderson films are, and I think this is just really a definitive statement of who Wes Anderson is as a filmmaker, not to mention another incredible soundtrack. I love music. I'm obsessed with music as well as film, and so I tend to gravitate towards films with really great soundtracks, and you got lots of great 60s, British invasion rock, you know, that kind of stuff in this film. So fantastic film here from Wes Anderson, Royal Tenenbaums. Number 6, Uncut Gems, directed by the Safdie brothers, Josh and Benny Safdie, from 2019, also from the United States. So, Uncut Gems, what to say about this film? Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. This film is an anxiety attack disguised as a movie. If you have anxiety, maybe not the best movie to watch. Maybe if you're having a good day, maybe throw it on, because this film ratchets up the tension to a 100, and it does a great job of building that tension all throughout. It just becomes progressively more insane, and it does a great job of depicting something like addiction, as the main character here, played by Adam Sandler. And just a quick second for Adam Sandler. Wow. I hate Adam Sandler comedies. They're not for me. It's not my type of style. But Adam Sandler in a drama, sign me up. Absolutely. And this is his best performance. Punch Drunk Love, another phenomenal performance. Adam Sandler can act, and I wish he would take more drama roles where he gets to really flex his acting muscles like he does in this film. So Adam Sandler's character here is a gambling addict, and you kind of follow him through a few days in his life as he's really trying to make a little bit of money and stay afloat. And it feels like, you know, he's paddling out there in the ocean, barely dipping his head above the water occasionally, and he's just digging himself bigger and bigger holes here throughout the film. This film is gritty, it's grimy. It really feels like it channels some early Scorsese work, and I'm a big Scorsese fan, so I really, really love this film, and I think it's a fantastic piece of cinema. My number 4 pick is The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is actually the only one that I don't own a physical copy of. I have no idea why I haven't bought this thing yet. I think it was kind of hard to find for a while, at least on Blu-ray. But this film, my favorite romance film probably ever. It does a great job of blending a little bit of sci-fi in there, an incredible script from Charlie Kaufman. The dialogue here is phenomenal, and of course your two main actors, Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey, perfect combination. Those two are the only two that could have played those characters, and they do such an incredible job with them. And it's a film that at times destroys my faith in love, and at times renews my faith in it. It's really a film, its core message is that love is always worth it, no matter what the fate of a relationship might be. It's always worth it to take the leap. So I love this film, rewatch it pretty much every year, and I adore it. So The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, my number 4. Number 4, finally throwing in some international flavor here. Spirited Away from 2001, directed by Hayao Miyazaki from Japan. So this was my first Ghibli film. I've only seen 2 Ghibli films. I've seen this one and I've seen My Neighbor Totoro, and I definitely think this one's a lot better. At least it was more towards what I was looking for. I kind of always thought Ghibli films were for kids, And this movie absolutely could be considered a kid's movie. Like, kids could watch this and really enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it. But adults, I think, are going to have even more fun with this film. They're really going to kind of see the social commentary buried beneath the surface of this film. Because yes, you have some amazing characters, you have some adorable moments, you have some funny moments, but you also have really biting social commentary on consumption and capitalism, and who would have thought that that could come from a kids movie. So I love this. The Ghibli animation is amazing. Miyazaki is a master. Hand-drawn animation, always better than that crappy computer stuff, in my opinion. There's no comparing. And I love who Hayao Miyazaki is as a filmmaker. I love seeing the memes of his quotes on social media and all of that. And this film is his masterpiece. So, Spirited Away. Number 4. Number 3. A lot of people probably think this should be number 1. Parasite, 2019, directed by Bong Joon-ho from South Korea. So this is the infamous Best Picture winner, blockbusting Best Picture winner, record-breaking first international film to win Best Picture, and it could not have been a better film to do that. This movie, I haven't seen it in a few years. I don't think I've seen it since 2020, so it's probably time to rewatch this thing. So my memory's not as great as it was with this particular film. Definitely need to revisit it, but from what I do remember, this is a phenomenal piece of filmmaking, meticulously crafted in every sense of the words. Every single shot in here is intentional. Every single thing that Bong Joon-ho puts into the screen, every frame is intentional. So much symbolism going on here behind a really incredible story with some awesome social commentary. So that would be my number 3 pick, Parasite. Number 2. Number 1 and 2 are always in my Letterboxd top 4, and I kind of trade them out on occasion. These are both 2 of my absolute favorite films of all time. Number 2, Itumama Tambien from 2001, directed by Alfonso Cuarón from Mexico. This film I can summarize in 4 or 5 words. Almost had a Charles Barkley moment there. Funny, sexy, horny, and emotionally devastating. That is this film, and I could not love it more. This is a must-watch in the summer, every summer for me. Ever since I first watched it in 2022, I've been watching it every single summer, have not missed one. And I adore it even more every single time. This film is kind of like if an American Pie movie was actually good, is how I would kind of describe it. It captures everything about teen angst and sex and horniness in a way that an American Pie movie tries to, but it combines it with artistic filmmaking choices, great dialogue, very well-rounded characters, and some real emotional heart behind it. So it follows 2 Mexican teenagers, going through their sexual awakening, and they take a road trip to the beach with a middle-aged Spanish woman, and everything else ensues from there. Filled with coming-of-age drama, comedy. It's a very funny film, like I said. And the ending is an emotional gut punch. It's heart-wrenching every single time. But it also kind of goes back to some of the themes of Call Me By Your Name, this idea of temporary connections with people, that, they share this incredible road trip that changes them all for the rest of their lives, and then, without spoiling things, never see each other again. It's an incredible, incredible film, and I love it every single time I watch it. All right, my number 1 pick, the best movie of the 21st century so far. Can you guess what it is? Mulholland Drive, also from 2001. 2001 was an insane year of movies. 2001 and 2019 are definitely the two best years of movies so far this century. So Mulholland Drive, directed by David Lynch, from the United States, of course. And David Lynch is my all-time favorite filmmaker. Rest in peace to the legend. He passed away in January. I did a video when he passed away showing off all of my David Lynch collection and all the movies that I own. I kind of thought about briefly putting Twin Peaks: The Return on here because there are elements of that I feel like is David Lynch magnum opus. But at the same time, it's not as consistent because it is a, quote, TV series as Mulholland Drive is. To me, Mulholland Drive is everything that David Lynch did well, all put into one concise package. Naomi Watts delivers an incredible performance, robbed of an Oscar, of course, as is most David Lynch films, robbed of Oscar love. But she is phenomenal behind this. This is everything Lynch does well. Dark, disturbing, dreamy. It deals with all kinds of human emotions, jealousy, greed, the Hollywood experience, as Naomi Watts is this kind of small town girl who comes to Hollywood in search of her dreams. And boy, do those dreams come about. But it's a film that is just so special, as most Lynch work is. He really lets the meaning of the film come to the viewer. He doesn't spoon feed you anything. He challenges you. You have to just watch this, and the most important thing when watching this is not to try to figure out every single thing and what happened. It's about the emotional experience. It's about the experience of watching it. It's kind of like a dream. Everything in a dream is not supposed to make sense, but everything in a dream is there for a reason. And his films, I'm obsessed with dreams. I love dreams, and I wish I dreamt more often. I only have a dream maybe once a week or so, that I remember anyway. But his films feel so much like the experience of having a dream. And I adore this man's work. I adore who he was as a person. Yeah, every single Friday I think of David Lynch because of his weather reports, of course, he would talk about how, can you believe it? It's a Friday once again. So every single Friday I have to post something David Lynch related, and he has left behind such a massive hole in the film world, but we're so thankful for the films like Mulholland Drive that he left us. So until something tops it, this is the top movie of the 21st century thus far. All right, that's it. That's my 10 favorite movies, or 10 best movies of the 21st century so far. Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below what you guys would put up there. If you got like a whole list of 10, I would love to read them. If you just got a few films that you'd recommend, definitely leave them in comments down below. I'm always looking to find new films and explore this art form. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. I may or may not be on here for another video at some point. There is a couple movies coming out in the theater this weekend that look a little interesting, so I may venture out to the theater to check something out. But other than that, have an amazing week. See you guys later.